Welcome to Exploring History. Today, we are going to uncover the fascinating story behind the face of one of the world's most iconic monuments, the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is one of the most recognized symbols around the world. But have you ever wondered who inspired the face of this monumental figure? Today, we are going to unravel the story of a woman whose face was immortalized in this symbol of freedom and hope. Get ready to meet Isabella Boyer, a woman whose life was as fascinating as the statue itself. Our story begins in Paris, in the heart of France, at a time when the city was the epicenter of culture and art. Isabella Boyer was born into an unusual family for her time. Her father was an African pastry chef, known for his delicious creations, and her mother was an Englishwoman with a refined education. Isabella grew up in an environment where cultural diversity and creativity were daily bread. From a young age, Isabella stood out for her remarkable beauty. The combination of her beauty, intelligence, and charisma did not go unnoticed in Parisian high society. Isabella was invited to numerous events and galas where she mingled with the city's elite. It was at these events that she began to forge the connections that would lead to the most significant moments of her life. At the age of 20, Isabella made a decision that would change her life forever. She married Isaac Singer, a man 30 years her senior, but with a vision and talent that had revolutionized the world of sewing. When Isabella married Isaac, she suddenly found herself at the epicenter of this whirlwind of innovation and success. The couple settled in New York, where Isaac ran his sewing machine empire. The Singer family's wealth came not only from the sale of machines, but also from a business model that included installment sales, allowing more people to afford a sewing machine. Isabella's life with Isaac was a mix of luxury and social expectations. They lived in an impressive mansion in the city, surrounded by opulence and with access to New York's high society. Isabella, with her innate elegance and grace, quickly adapted to her new role as the wife of an industrial magnate. However, not everything was perfect in Isabella's life. Despite her wealth and social standing, her marriage to Singer had its challenges. Isaac was known for his strong character and scandalous life. He was a man with a complicated past, including multiple relationships and a reputation for being somewhat eccentric. Isabella, though young, had to navigate these turbulent waters with maturity and strength. In 1875, Isabella's life changed drastically when Isaac Singer passed away. With his death, Isabella not only lost her husband, but also found herself in a position of great wealth and power. As the heir to the Singer fortune, Isabella became one of the richest women in the country. This new status offered her many opportunities, but also brought new responsibilities and challenges. Isabella, however, did not let herself be overwhelmed by grief or responsibility. Instead, she seized her new independence to explore the world and seek new experiences. Her travels took her across Europe and America, where she expanded her horizons and lived a life many women of her time could only dream of. This stage of her life was a testament to her incredible adaptability and her desire to make the most of every opportunity. Isabella's wealth and independence allowed her to continue her education and cultural interests. She attended artistic and literary events, where she mingled with some of the brightest minds of her time. Isabella decided that the world was too big and exciting to stay in one place. During her travels, Isabella sought not only knowledge and culture, but also adventure and challenge. She traveled on luxury trains that crossed continents, on steamships that sailed oceans, and in carriages that took her through rural landscapes. On each journey, she met fascinating people, writers, artists, scientists, and political leaders, with whom she shared ideas and experiences. Besides her love for travel and culture, Isabella also had a passion for fashion and style. In every city she visited, she made sure to stay up to date with the latest trends and acquire unique pieces for her wardrobe. Isabella also used her travels to get involved in various philanthropic causes. In every city, she looked for ways to contribute to the local community, whether through donations, volunteer work, or participation in charity events. As she traveled and explored the world, Isabella documented her experiences through letters and journals. She wrote in detail about the places she visited, the people she met, and the lessons she learned. During her many travels and adventures, Isabella Boyer met a multitude of fascinating people. However, one of the most significant encounters of her life occurred when she met Victor Robstedt, a renowned Dutch violinist and count. This meeting marked the beginning of a new and exciting chapter in Isabella's life, one that would take her to the top of European society and make her an influential figure in the artistic and cultural circles of the time. The meeting between Isabella and Victor took place at a social event in Paris, a city they both loved deeply. Isabella, with her elegance and beauty, immediately captured Victor's attention. Despite their age and background differences, they shared an instant connection based on mutual respect and admiration for art and culture. Victor was fascinated by Isabella's intelligence and independent spirit, while she was attracted to Victor's talent and artistic sensitivity. Isabella and Victor's relationship culminated in marriage, officially uniting their lives and fortunes. With this marriage, Isabella not only became the wife of a famous musician, but also a countess. The couple moved to a magnificent mansion in Amsterdam, where they lived surrounded by luxury and culture. Marriage to Victor Robstedt also allowed Isabella to explore new facets of her own creativity. Inspired by her husband and surrounded by artists, she became more deeply interested in the visual arts and music. Despite the many joys and successes they shared, Isabella and Victor's marriage was not without its challenges. Like any couple, they faced difficulties and differences, but their love and mutual respect helped them overcome them. In the course of her travels and vibrant social life, Isabella Boyer had the opportunity to meet many notable personalities of her time. One of the most important and impactful encounters was with Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, a French sculptor whose most famous work, the Statue of Liberty, would become an enduring symbol of freedom and hope around the world. Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi was born in Colmar, France, in 1834. From a young age, he showed exceptional talent for art, especially sculpture and architecture. He studied at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris, where he developed his unique skill and style. Bartholdi was known for his ambition and ability to handle large-scale projects, qualities that would lead him to accept the monumental challenge of creating the Statue of Liberty. The meeting between Isabella and Bartholdi occurred at a social event in Paris, a city they both frequented due to their interests and connections. In this sophisticated and cultured environment, their paths crossed, and Bartholdi was immediately impressed by Isabella. It was not just her beauty that captivated him, but also her elegance, intelligence, and the richness of her life experiences. Isabella, for her part, found in Bartholdi a man passionate about his work and with a clear and ambitious vision. During their conversations, Bartholdi shared with Isabella his exciting project, the creation of a colossal statue symbolizing the independence and freedom of the United States. This statue was to be a gift from France to the United States to commemorate the centennial of American independence. Bartholdi had already accepted the proposal and was in the midst of the design and planning process. The idea was to create a female figure holding a torch in one hand and a tablet in the other, inscribed with the date of the Declaration of Independence. Bartholdi was deeply inspired by his trip to the United States. He was amazed by the vastness of the country, its natural resources, and the diversity of its population. To him, the United States represented a new kind of society, a land of opportunities and freedom. He wanted his sculpture to capture the essence of these ideals and serve as a beacon of hope for all those who arrived on American shores in search of a new life. The creation of the Statue of Liberty was a monumental feat that involved international collaboration and an unprecedented artistic and engineering process. This project not only symbolized the friendship between France and the United States, but also represented the ideals of freedom and democracy that both countries deeply valued. Once Bartholdi decided that Isabella's face would be the inspiration for his work, he began the arduous process of bringing his vision to life. The statue, officially called La Liberté éclairant le monde, Liberty enlightening the world, was to be a majestic and powerful representation of a woman symbolizing freedom. Bartholdi wanted this figure to be not only impressive in size, but also in expression and meaning. Construction of the statue began in Paris, in Bartholdi's workshop. The head and torch were the first parts to be built, and both were exhibited at international expositions in Paris and Philadelphia to raise funds and generate excitement for the project. The head, in particular, caused a sensation and attracted crowds, marveling at the grandeur and expression of the figure. Bartholdi worked with engineer Gustave Eiffel, known for his innovative design of the Eiffel Tower, to address the structural challenges of the project. Eiffel designed the internal skeleton of the statue, an iron structure that would support the outer copper plates. This engineering approach allowed the statue to withstand the strong winds of New York Harbor and remain stable over time. The combination of Bartholdi's artistic vision and Eiffel's engineering resulted in a perfect collaboration that made the statue's construction possible. Isabella Boyer's face was modeled in great detail. Bartholdi wanted the statue's face to convey serenity, determination, and hope. The expression had to be kind and welcoming, reflecting the values the statue represented. Isabella posed for Bartholdi on several occasions, allowing him to capture the essence of her features. The statue was constructed in sections, allowing artisans and workers to focus on each detail without compromising the structure's integrity. The copper plates that formed the statue's outer skin were hand-hammered and then assembled over Eiffel's iron skeleton. This laborious and meticulous process took several years, but the result was a monumental work of art that exceeded all expectations. In 1885, the finished parts of the statue were dismantled and packed for transport to the United States. The sea journey from France to New York was a large-scale logistical operation. Each piece was carefully packed and labeled to ensure it arrived in perfect condition. Upon arrival in New York, the pieces were temporarily stored at the port until the pedestal construction on Bedloe's Island was completed. The pedestal, designed by American architect Richard Morris Hunt, was an equally impressive structure that provided a solid and dignified base for the statue. The pedestal's construction was partially funded by public donations, and the fundraising campaign included contributions from thousands of American citizens inspired by the statue's symbolism. Once the pedestal was ready, the assembly of the statue began. This was a spectacle in itself, as the enormous copper pieces were hoisted and placed with the help of cranes and scaffolding. The final assembly of the statue took several months, and every step of the process was closely followed by the public and the press. On October 28, 1886, the Statue of Liberty was finally inaugurated in a grand ceremony. Bedloe's Island was decorated with flags and flowers, and dignitaries from both sides of the Atlantic attended the event. The inauguration was a moment of pride and celebration for both countries. The Statue of Liberty, with her torch held high, stood as a beacon of hope for millions of immigrants who would arrive on American shores seeking a new life. For many, the first sight of the statue from their ships was a symbol of welcome and a new beginning. Isabella Boyer's influence on the statue's creation was significant. Her face, immortalized in the statue's copper, symbolized not only beauty and grace, but also strength and resilience. Although her name was not widely known in relation to the statue, her contribution was essential to the project's success. Isabella continued to live a full and fascinating life. At the age of 50, she married for the third time to Paul Sohiga, a famous art collector. Despite her age, Isabella never lost her thirst for knowledge and love for adventure. Isabella's health, however, began to decline as she aged. Although she remained an active and engaged woman, the effects of time took their toll. Surrounded by friends and family, she continued to participate in her philanthropic and cultural activities until her health no longer allowed it. In 1904, Isabella Boyer passed away in Paris at the age of 62. Her death marked the end of an era for those who knew and admired her. She was buried in the Passy Cemetery, a fitting final resting place for someone who had been such a prominent figure in Parisian society. Isabella Boyer's story is a reminder of the power of beauty, intelligence, and determination. Her face lives on, lifted high in the Statue of Liberty, an eternal symbol of freedom and hope. Millions of visitors from around the world come to New York to see this magnificent work of art and reflect on its meaning. The story of its creation, and the story of Isabella Boyer, is a reminder of how an artistic vision can capture and convey humanity's highest ideals.